What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. And because the first one was so well received, today we are going to be looking at how much D linemen actually make in the NFL. Now, more and more, you're seeing a lot of D linemen sign really, really big contracts. Some of the most recent ones are guys like Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox, a lot of these really big names. However, once you actually break down the data, it tells a completely different story than what you're seeing online about D linemen. So first off, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead, as we're putting out as many videos as we can under the new Footballrs brand, and I hope you guys enjoy this new series. Now, when we're looking at D linemen, there's basically two classifications, I guess like 3 to 4 really, but it condenses down, right? So you have your interior D linemen. So those are guys like Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald. They're basically either defensive tackle or a nose tackle. Kind of falls under those two categories. However, under different schemes, different guys are classified differently. So for example, Von Miller, although he technically plays a defensive end type position, he's classified as an outside linebacker. Same thing with Khalil Mack. So what they do is they basically condense all these guys into what they call edge. So an edge rusher is just a guy that plays on the end of the line and is technically a D lineman, but could have the classification of either outside linebacker, defensive end, linebacker, a bunch of different things it falls under. But don't worry, we throw those in here. So in this breakdown, you'll have the Khalil Macks, the Von Millers, the Joey Bosa's, right? They will not be considered an outside linebacker for this purposes because the contracts are way different for those guys than them. Okay, let's jump into the numbers. So the first one we're going to look at here is the sum of total value signed by age and position. This basically just breaks down it into, again, defensive tackles, which is interior guys, and edge, exterior guys, and sees the total value of contracts when they're actually happening in the league. And it's really no different than any other position, right? The highest one is going to be at 25, and that is basically after people are signing their rookie deals, they're maybe getting picked up on their one-year extension after that deal, then they're signing these big max deals. Same thing, you're seeing some guys like around that 28 mark, say they're bluing a little bit late, but really it's clustering super heavy between 25 to 27. That's when you're going to get your biggest money as a D lineman in the NFL. Now, what's really interesting here is looking at the average total value of a contract signed by position here, right? So when you're looking at this, you can see that edge rushers and defensive tackles are completely different about when they're actually getting their biggest money deals. Now, you're seeing really consistently with your edge rushers here that at 26, that is when they are peaking, right, as far as the average total value of their contract, around $30 million. And then it's slowly petering out as they hit 30, and there's like one random spike at 33. But now with defensive tackles, you're actually seeing like a double wave here. So you're seeing that they're getting their biggest money actually at 27, which is on average around 22 million for their total contract. But then you're getting another bump from them at 30. That's again around the 25 million. So it's really interesting to see how two different positions, they're paid a little bit differently. Now, the same story is really going to be told here with the sum of total value by years, and that's just saying the most contracts are going to be signed. Around $2 billion of them are coming from 4-year deals. So the most money is coming around 4-year deals, and some people are having these 5-year deals as well. Okay, now let's just look at the average salary these guys are making per year for their positions. So you can see here that defensive tackles on average, they're actually making the most at 30, which is really strange. I guess they might have a little bit longer lifespan than some of these edge rushers, but you can see average contract at 30 here is going to be around $7 million a year, where at that point defense or edge rushers are only around like 5.5. Now, it's really important to note here that, remember, this is the average. So if there's a ton of guys that are getting signed around 26, having these really high guys might be brought down by the really low guys. However, if there's only one guy making a lot of money at 33, it'll look way higher. So it does kind of skew the data here. Now, this is really interesting because you can see here that Calais Campbell at 33 signed a 2-year, $25 million deal, which is equaling this bar here, but he's really the only one. Now, this is where you're going to really see what it equates to, right? So when you're looking at the average salary by position, you can see that the average edge rusher and average D tackle really make around the exact same amount of money. 3.7 versus 3.4 million, not a really big difference. Some of the differences though may come in the max average salary. Again, they're still very similar though. You can see here that the max average salary is going to be 27 million a year. So that max average year is going to be Joey Bosa, and then that 23 million right beside it is going to be Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald actually has a lot longer than the average deal. Like I said before, the average deal is around 4 to 5 years. However, Aaron Donald has a 6-year, $135 million deal with a $40 million signing bonus and $23 million a year on average, with $50 million of it guaranteed upfront. That means the day he signed this contract, he basically made $90 million. Now, pretty consistent with everyone else with these right now, once we look at signing bonuses by age and position, you can see that there's still some really big bonuses being handed out when they're signing these rookie deals at between 21 and 22. Now, they are bigger for edge rushers than defensive tackles, but you can see they're both getting their money still. Now, one really interesting one here is Ed Oliver. Now, although he only signed his 4-year, around $4 million deal at 21 when he came into the league, he actually had a $13 million signing bonus on top of that. So a lot of these rookie deals, they're not getting a ton of money based on when they're getting picked, but they're giving a lot of incentives and bonuses up front. Now you can see here that when you're looking at the average guaranteed at signing date, you can see that most of your money is going to be guaranteed between the ages of 24 to 28, meaning after 28, they're doing less guaranteed because you're more likely to get injured at that point. Now, when you're looking at actually how much their money is like really guaranteed, right? You can see that defensive tackles on average have between 40 to 43% of their money guaranteed the day they sign their contract, whereas edge rushers is a little bit closer. So there's a little bit more of a spread with defensive tackles, but with edge rushers, you know that you're going to be getting between 40 and 41% most likely. Now, unlike O-lineman was very clear, right? You could see that on average, left tackles made way more than everyone else, right? And then it went right tackles, and then it went like guard centers, and they were so much lower. So there was a really big discrepancy between how much they valued a left tackle at versus the rest of the line. But defensive tackle versus edge rusher is actually pretty consistent. You can see here when you're looking at the total value of these contracts, when you're looking down the positions here, you can see that it bounces back and forth between edge and defensive tackle. Not consistently. You can see that on average, these edge rushers are definitely in these top 20. There's more edge rushers than defensive tackles, but it's not like they're being blown out of the water. So if you're a D lineman, you're pretty much going to go either direction. Whatever one you want to go with, it's not going to be a crazy discrepancy as long as you're at the height of your position. Now, as far as telling us a different story about the average signing of a contract and stuff, no, it really was no different. The average contract is between 4 to 5 years. You're going to get around 40% of it guaranteed. You're going to get a healthy signing bonus on your rookie deal, a little less on your deals after that because you're getting these longer average salaries. But overall, feels good to be in the NFL, man. I would love it. So there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to be putting out more of these in the future, so subscribe to make sure you are notified when those come out. Thanks for watching.